Good afternoon, everyone. It is Jenna Bray here with KUWT News. It appears that the Mexican General Santa Anna has arrived at the Alamo in San Antonio, Texas, this chilly morning of February 23rd, 1836, and he has brought an army with him. He laid siege on the town of San Antonio, and a red flag was flown shortly afterwards, signifying that he would give no quarter to the Texan rebels who were hiding in the Alamo. When Mexico gained independence from Spain in 1821, many settlers from the United States immigrated down to Texas. Most of these immigrants approved and followed the settlement plans that were given by Mexico. Others, though, acted as squatters who claimed unoccupied lands, which brought about many economic, political, and cultural differences between Texas and Mexico. There was a lot of support for independence for Texas by the early 1830s, and in December of 1835, rebellious Texans attacked and gained control of San Antonio. The Texan leaders did not think that San Antonio was necessary to own to gain independence, so General Sam Houston ordered Jim Bowie, who was actually a former resident of San Antonio, to travel down to the Alamo and retreat with remaining Texan men. When Bowie arrived into San Antonio, he believed that the small amount of Texans there could have the power to keep the city in their possession. So he disobeyed Houston's orders and he stayed to help fight along the Texans. It is rumored that the legendary frontiersman Davy Crockett is in the Alamo at this moment, along with Lieutenant Colonel William Travis and James Bowie. We will follow the siege and bring you the latest updates on the Alamo, only at Channel 6 KUWT News. I'm Jenna Bray, signing off. Good afternoon, everyone. It is Jenna Bray here with KUWT News, and we have just received word that after a nerve-wracking 13 days, General Santa Anna has officially attacked the Alamo. Sources say that the Mexican army breached the north wall early this morning at the crack of dawn. The army flooded the compound, and the intense battle was centered at the old church. The battle lasted approximately 90 minutes. It is confirmed that Santa Anna's army was victorious, for there were way too many Mexican army soldiers, and the rebels were just too outnumbered. We have also received word that Travis and Bowie were killed on site, but Davy Crockett's death is unconfirmed. Witnesses say that approximately 200 rebellious Texans were killed, compared to 600 Mexican soldiers. Thankfully, the women and children were spared. We have Jill Calhoun on the scene. Over to you, Jill. Thanks, Jenna. I'm here just a few miles away from the Alamo, after a heartbreaking battle was sadly not in the favor of the Texans. The burning old church is barely standing, but it was surrounded by fallen Texan soldiers just earlier today, among these being General Travis. Davy Crockett's death has not yet been confirmed, and so it is still considered a mystery where he is at. Santa Anna's army is headed towards Louisiana after losing over 600 men just this morning. I just met Susanna Dixon with her infant daughter, Angelina. Susanna had just found out that her husband, Captain Almarin Dixon, was killed in battle during the Alamo. May her family be in our thoughts. This battle was definitely a costly win for Santa Anna, which will not make it easier on his army in the future. That's all for now. Back to you, Jenna. Thanks, Jill. We have also just received word that there have been prisoners taken by the Mexican army. Among these could be Davy Crockett, but we do not know for sure. All we know is that the battle may have not turned out in the favor of the Texans, but I have a feeling that justice will be served shortly. And if it is, KUWT News will be the first to bring you the story. Again, I'm Jenna Bray, signing off from a very tragic day. Good afternoon, I'm Jenna Bray with KUWT News, here to bring you some breaking news coming from Houston, Texas. Yesterday afternoon, on April 21st, 1836, General Sam Houston attacked a piece of General Santa Anna's surprised army. After the Alamo, Santa Anna believed that the Texas rebels were completely finished. But little did he know, Houston had an army of over 900 soldiers that was growing by the day up his sleeve. In April of 1836, Santa Anna heard Houston's army was to move eastward, so he split his own personal army into 3 groups. One group was to attempt to capture the provisional government, but they later failed. One group was told to protect the supply lines, and the third group, which Santa Anna led himself, was to go on a mission to attack Houston's army. Houston knew that this was the perfect time to attack Santa Anna's army, so he turned around and prepared to fight the Mexicans. Yesterday morning, Santa Anna was expecting Houston to attack at dawn, but he did not. Santa Anna assumed that there would be no fight yesterday, so he ordered his army to take a break and rest. Although Houston wanted Santa Anna to attack first, he was convinced otherwise at the very last minute. So at 3:30 in the afternoon, the Texans slowly started to move forward. The Mexican army was completely unaware of the attack until it was too late, and the Texans swarmed the camp, shouting, "Remember the Alamo." The Mexican army tried to flee, but the soldiers were just too unsuccessful. During the 20-minute battle of San Jacinto, 9 Texans were killed, and approximately 630 Mexican soldiers were killed. 730 Mexican soldiers were also captured, among them being Santa Anna. Houston refrained from executing Santa Anna on the spot, for Houston knew that he was worth more alive than dead. We have Lana Murphy on the scene in Houston. Over to you, Lana. Thanks, Jenna. I'm outside of Houston, Texas right now at the battlefield where not even 24 hours ago the Texan rebels gained their justice. I got a chance to speak with the man of the hour, General Sam Houston, earlier today. He told me, and I quote, "Every officer and man proved himself worthy of the cause in which he battled. While the triumph received a luster from the humanity which characterized their conduct, after victory and richly entitles them to the admiration and gratitude of their general." That's all I have here in Houston, Texas today. Back to you, Jenna. Thanks, Lana. The Battle of San Jacinto sealed the fate for 3 republics in just a span of 20 minutes. Mexico will never regain the territory that they unfortunately lost. The United States would not only eventually gain Texas in 1845, but they would eventually gain Mexican lands in the west thanks to the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo that was signed in 1848, which ended the futuristic Mexican-American War. The Treaty of Velasco was signed on May 14, 1836, which ended the Texas Revolution, but the Texas and Mexico conflict would continue on for another century. Davy Crockett, James Bowie, and William Travis went down in history as heroes, and they have cities, schools, lakes, parks, and counties named after them. Movies have also been made about the Alamo, including John Wayne's 1960s The Alamo and the 2004 The Alamo starring Billy Bob Thornton as Davy Crockett. The Alamo went unpreserved until the late 1890s, and it is now standing in San Antonio, Texas as a historical tourist attraction. As for the Battle of San Jacinto, there is a monument at the battlefield outside of Houston. These 2 battles were obviously game changers for the Republic of Texas, and they are seen as important in every single state. Once again, KUWT News has brought you up-to-date, reliable news, and we will continue to do so. Until next time, I'm Jenna Bray, signing off.